everyone. It's now November, so we have a really cute fall activity that will elicit a ton of language from your kids. This one is called Chompin Chipmunks, and all of the drawings in this game are done by GoGo Speech. For this game, we're going to pull out a bunch of different tasty food items, and we're going to feed them to the sneaky chipmunk at the park. And every time he eats another food item, his cheeks get bigger and bigger. So we're going to see what happens when his cheeks get too big toward the end. So we're going to start the session saying, "Hi, guys. Wow, we're going on a picnic today. We have our basket and our blanket. We're all ready for the picnic. But this isn't just going to be any old picnic. We're going to a special place in the park. And I heard that there's a little chipmunk there that might come out if we're really nice to him. So I made some foods that I thought he might really like, and they're in the basket. So we're going to see if we can get him to come out and play with us. Now, I heard he's super quick and kind of shy, so we have to work really hard to try to get him to come out, okay? Do you think it's going to work? All right, we're going to try. So we're going to go on over by that tree and rock, and we're going to set up our picnic. All right, we're all set up. Now, what do we have to do? Do you see the chipmunk yet? I don't either. Okay, open the basket. Just like our other activities, you'll be able to adjust the way that you play this based on the goals you're working on. You're going to see a lot of different food items, and you'll be able to work on describing each of them. So you'll talk about what it tastes like, smells like, feels like, what parts it has, toppings, fillings. Is it sweet, salty, cheesy? Is it smooth or rough, soft or chewy? Is it warm or cold? And for those following GoGo Speech on Instagram, you can look out for another Instagram freebie sometime soon, which you can use as a visual to describe these food items. And this visual can be used right on your green screen, or you can print it out to hold up when you need it. So I'm going to reach into the basket, reach in, and I'm going to pull up bacon and acorns. Is that a chipmunk up there? He came out. So this activity is really good for working on prepositions as well. You'll see the chipmunk really likes to jump around to different spots behind the rock, under the blanket, on top of the basket, up in the tree. And you can certainly work on core words and very simple language tasks as well with this. For articulation, you can say target words for a certain number of times to try to get the chipmunk to come closer to the basket so we can feed him. Or you can make sentences using the food items when you pull them out each time. You can also just use it as a motivational game. After doing a task, you can pull up another food item and feed it to the chipmunk, and you should be able to get a lot of language out of your kids. Now, this game is all digital, but you may like using some props to add a little fun to it. So I'm going to use a big spoon and a fork so my kids can tell me what I need to use to feed the chipmunk each time. So I'm going to use my Biorum cue cards. And I love using these with my activities. They're really easy to hold up while I'm doing the activities. So I can do spoon and fork. I'm also going to keep some extra green fabric ready for the surprise at the end. I did pin a little bit of green fabric to my green screen behind me so that I can reach my hand into the basket when I grab the food items. So you can do this as well, or you can use a green pocket or whatever you have. Or you can just pretend to reach in if you don't have that extra material. And I can post what mine looks like in an Instagram story this week if that's helpful. So now I'm just going to quickly go through and show you a little bit more of the game. Get the bacon and give it to the chipmunk. All right. So he's going to eat the food. And when he closes his mouth, he moved really quick. We're still keeping an eye on him, right? He came up pretty close to get the food. Let's just be very careful. We don't want to scare him away. Let's reach in and get another kind of food, all right? Okay, and cereal. So you might use the visual. That is a kind of breakfast food, right? He came closer. I think when we talk about the food, it makes him hungrier, so he wants to come closer. How does it feel in your mouth when you bite into it? It's crunchy. Do we need the fork or the spoon? Scoop the cereal. Oh, where'd he go? He's so quick. He's hanging on a branch. All right, let's reach back in. What do we have in there? We have a sandwich. Where's the chipmunk? Behind the tree. And they're going to tell you about the sandwich. You can use the visual if you want. And this one, you may not use a fork or a spoon. You may feed it with your hand. All right, here you go, Chipmunk. Tell your kids to keep a really close eye on this chipmunk. We don't want to lose him. And remember, every time you pull the food up, you want them to keep describing it more and more or using their target words, whatever they're working on, to try to get the chipmunk to come closer. There he is. Oh, he's so close. And wait a second. His cheeks, they're getting really big. What does he have in there? I hope his cheeks don't get too big. Give him the taco. Now he's under the blanket. We're going to pull up pizza, acorn pizza. He's standing on the basket. Give him the pizza. How'd he get up there? All right, now I'm gonna reach in again and use whatever language you want your kids to say every time you pull up the food. What parts does spaghetti have? Usually there's meatballs with it, but this one has acorns. Now your child might use more language to describe it or say more target words, and he's gonna open his mouth again, feed it to the chipmunk, and you're just gonna throw it up to him. Now you'll see his cheeks are really getting a little too big. He's on my back! Let's talk about the ice cream so that he'll move closer to it. So maybe he can get off my back. How does ice cream feel in your mouth? Cold. What parts does it have? Whipped cream? Cherries? Sprinkles? He's opening his mouth. Let's feed it to him. Wow, he's so happy. He probably likes us so much because we gave him so much yummy food, huh? Oh no, something's wrong. Uh-oh. Oh no! Ah! Oh no! He did have too many acorns in his cheeks. How did he get all of these acorns in his mouth? So then you're gonna use your extra green fabric to cover yourself up. You're gonna be stuck in this huge pile of acorns. How am I gonna get out of here, guys? Then you're gonna have the chipmunk pop his head up out of the acorns, and you'll see that he's back to normal since he spit all of the acorns out of his mouth. And he thinks it's so funny that I'm stuck in the pile of acorns. So he does a cute little dance. And he's gonna dance until we say the magic words or the magic sentence to get me out. So you'll have your kids say something like, "Let's get Miss Abby out of the acorns." Oh, phew. All right. So now you're back to the main background and you can say, "We're all done. I'm so glad we got the chipmunk to come out, but I can't believe he buried me in all those acorns." Or you can go back to the beginning and pull the food items out again. So if you want to use a silly little variation of the game, then you can make the chipmunk give all of the food items back. So from here where he eats the ice cream, he might give it all back. All right, guys, have fun. And thanks so much for all of the feedback and the support, as always. Let me know how it goes and make sure that you follow us on Instagram to get that freebie if you want to use it with this activity. All right, I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.